Hello students, in the previous video, we learned about prime and composite numbers. We also find out the prime numbers between 1 and 100 given by the Greek mathematician Eratosthenes. Today, we are going to learn test of divisibility. So, let's learn it. Test of divisibility. The test of divisibility tells you whether a number is divisible by another number or not without actually doing division. So now let's learn the rules of divisibility. Divisibility by 2, 5 and 10. Divisible by 2. A number is divisible by 2 if it is an even number. That is, the digits at its ones place is 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8. Example, 2304, 5678 and 9530. Students, these numbers are divisible by 2 as these numbers are even numbers. Also, the digit in ones place of these numbers are 4, 8 and 0 respectively. So, all these numbers are divisible by 2. Now, divisibility by 5. A number is divisible by 5 if the digit at its ones place is 0 or 5. Example, 1520, 2845 and 3760. Students, these numbers have 0, 5 and 0 respectively. So, all these numbers are divisible by 5. Now, divisibility by 10. A number is divisible by 10 if the digit at its ones place is 0. Students, all these numbers have 0 at ones place. So, all these numbers are divisible by 10. Divisibility by 3 and 9. Divisibility by 3. A number is divisible by 3 if the sum of its digit is divisible by 3. Example, 5136. Students, in order to check whether 5136 is divisible by 3 or not, we have to find the sum of its digits. That is, we have to add all the given digits, and if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3, then a given number is divisible by 3, otherwise not. So, now let us find the sum of the digits by adding the digits like 5, 1, 3 and 6. Thus, adding 5, 1, 3 and 6, we get 15. 15 is divisible by 3. Thus, 5136 is divisible by 3. Now, divisibility by 9. A number is divisible by 9 if the sum of its digits is divisible by 9. Example, 8145. Student, a number is said to be divisible by 9 if the sum of its digits is divisible by 9. So, now let us find the sum of the digits of 8145 by adding the digits like 8, 1, 4 and 5. Thus, adding 8, 1, 4 and 5, we get 18. 18 is divisible by 9 or 18 is a multiple of 9. So, 8145 is also divisible by 9. Students, thus we can say that tests 4, 3 and 9 are similar. Divisibility by 4 and 8. Divisibility by 4. A number is divisible by 4 if its last two digits are either zeros or the number formed by them is divisible by 4. For example, 1312. Students, in order to check whether 1312 is divisible by 4 or not, we have to divide last two digits, that is 12 of this number by 4. Thus, dividing 12 by 4, we get quotient 3 and remainder 0. Thus, 1312 is divisible by 4. Now, divisibility by 8. A number is divisible by 8 if the last three digits are either zeros or the number formed by last three digits is divisible by 8. For example, 1,09,816. Students, in order to find out whether 1,09,816 is divisible by 8 or not, we have to divide its last three digits, that is 816 by 8. So, now let's divide 816 by 8. Thus, dividing 816 by 8, we get quotient 102 and remainder 0. Thus, 1,09,816 is divisible by 8. Students, so we can say that tests 4, 4 and 8 are similar. Divisibility rule for 6. A number is divisible by 6 if it is divisible by both 2 and 3. For example, 3,69,240. Students, in order to check whether 3,69,240 is divisible by 6 or not, first of all, we have to check whether 3,69,240 is divisible by both 2 and 3. Students, if this number is divisible by both 2 and 3, then this number is also divisible by 6, otherwise not. Students, note that if the number is divisible either by 3 or 2 alone, then it is not divisible by 6. So, now let's check whether 3,69,240 is divisible by 6 or not by checking whether it is divisible by both 2 and 3. First of all, checking 3,69,240 is divisible by 3 or not. Students, we came to know that in order to check whether a given number is divisible by 3 or not, we have to find the sum of its digits. So, let's find out the sum of the digits by adding all the digits like 3, 6, 9, 2, 4 and 0. Thus adding 3, 6, 9, 2, 4 and 0, we get the sum 24. 24 is divisible by 3. So, this number is divisible by 3. Now, B. Let's check this sum by 2, whether divisible by 2 or not. Students, look at this number. It has 0 at one's place. 0 is divisible by 2. So, 3,69,240 is divisible by 2. Thus, 3,69,240 is also divisible by 6 as it is divisible by both 2 and 3. Divisibility rule for 11. A number is divisible by 11 if the difference between the sum of the digits at all the places and the sum of the digits at even places is either 0 or a number divisible by 11. Students, we can check whether a given number is divisible by 11 or not by different patterns. So, now let's solve example A, 26,378 by pattern number 1. Students, look at this number. This number is highlighted by 2 different colors, that is blue and red color. Blue color shows the digits at all the places and red color shows the digits at even places. Students, in order to check whether 26,378 is divisible by 11 or not, we have to follow 3 steps. They are: step number 1, we have to find the sum of the digits at all the places. Step number 2, we have to find the sum of the digits at even place. And step number 3, we have to find the difference between the sum of the digits at all the place and even place. If we get 0 or a number divisible by 11 or multiple of 11, then a given number is divisible by 11, otherwise not. So, now let us check whether 26,378 is divisible by 11 or not by following all the steps. Step number 1, sum of the digits at odd place equals to 2 plus 3 plus 8 equals to 13. Now, step number 2. Finding the sum of the digits at even place by adding the digits of even place like 6 and 7. We get 13. Now, finally, finding the difference between the sum of the digits at odd place and at even place, that is, subtracting 13 from 13, we get 0. Thus, 26,378 is divisible by 11 as we got 0. Students, remember that always consider the first place from the left as an odd place for the divisibility rule for 11. Now, example B. 4,96,133 by pattern number 2. Students, look at this number pattern. This number represents O, that is odd, and E, that is even. Students, by whatever pattern we solve the sums, the rules are same. We have to follow all the necessary steps in order to check whether a given number is divisible by 11 or not. So, now let us check. 4,96,133 is divisible by 11 or not by following all these steps. Step number 1. Sum of the digits at odd places. Students, in order to get the sum of the digits at odd place, we have to add the digits of odd places like 4, 6 and 3. Thus, adding 4, 6 and 3, we get 13. Now, step number 2. Finding the sum of the digits at even places by adding the digits of even places like 9, 1 and 3. We get 13. Now, finally, finding the difference between sum of the digits at odd places and the sum of the digits at even places, that is, subtracting 13 from 13, we get 0. Thus, 4,96,133 is divisible by 11. Now, example C. 79,376 by pattern number 3. Students, look at this number. I drawn two shapes, namely triangle and circle. Triangle indicates odd places and circle indicates even places. So, now let us check whether 79,376 is divisible by 11 or not by following all the three steps. Step number 1. Sum of all the digits at odd places equals to 7 plus 3 plus 6 equals to 16. Now, step number 2. Sum of all the digits at even places equals to 9 plus 7 equals to 16. Now, step number 3. Difference equals to 16 minus 16 equals to 0. Thus, 79,376 is divisible by 11. Students, we learn the rules of divisibility because it will help you in finding factors easily. Practice time 4. Sum number 1 is 45,748 divisible by 2. Students, keeping in mind the rules of divisibility, you have to solve this sum. So, now let's solve these sums by keeping in mind rules of divisibility. Students, in 45,748, the digit at the ones place is 8, which is an even number. Thus, 45,748 is divisible by 2. Now, sum number 2 is 2,437 divisible by 3. Sum of the digits in 2,437 equals to 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 7 equals to 16. 16 is not divisible by 3 or 16 is not multiple of 3. So, 2,437 is not divisible by 3. Now, sum number 3 is 4,12,632 divisible by 4. The number formed by the last two digits of 4,12,632 is 32, which is divisible by 4. So, 4,12,632 is divisible by 4. Now, sum number 4 is 97,135 divisible by 5. Since the ones digit of 97,135 is 5, so 97,135 is divisible by 5. Students, we will solve remaining sums in the next video. Thank you and have a nice day.